ho, ho, ho!
Good morning, people. It's the Aftermath, and welcome back to Mufc Realist TV. Welcome back to the channel. The Aftermath is, where do we go from here? Erik Ten Hag, is it a system of a down? What does that mean? I'm going to explain to you everything what I'm thinking, but I also want to hear from you. Let's do this, people. Let's get into the game.
Has the Premier League ever been more challenging?
I feel welcome. Dit is my home and I want to achieve success. Okay?
And what a calamity we have, people. The day after knives are sharpened, and we're going to apply some pressure. Manchester United won. They didn't. Manchester United had the faith in the hand. Is the worst campaign that I've seen in my entire life, honest to God. 0-1 Bayern Munich, the worst ever Champions League campaign, was unfolded right in front of our eyes. What really happened and how did this happen? That's what we're here for, people. Because Manchester United rightfully returned to Champions League was a body of testament that suggested that Ten Hag has actually put us to the right path last season. Of course, we won the Carabao Cup, we finished third, and all the hard work and graft that we did last season, what was that for? To display, to finish last in the group and with such a poor statistics, you know, that brings us back to the missteps of, the misery of what we went through over Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho. Even Jose Mourinho won the Europa League, and lately Ole Gunnar Solskjaer missed the Europa League final, although we got here. Ten Hag, arguably to say, has tangible success with the League Cup win in his first season, but this is kind of a wrecking ball, and the way I see it, is a system error, system of a down, and you can arguably reflect of the recruitment that we recruited talent over characters. He changed the system that doesn't really work. And what does it mean, system? Of course, you can take everything in consideration with all the injuries and you couldn't play the certain past personnel. But for me, it's the stubbornness. It's the sure, how do you call it, stubbornness or perseverance or naivety in a way that I've been watching it, and it looks like he wants to play a 4-1-5, meaning one sitting midfielder and five attackers. Now that is all good if you have the right personnel, but when you have five players that doesn't track back, then of course we've been left wide open, carved wide open there in the midfield, and we've been so easy on the transitions throughout the season. And what gets me is that he finally gets it at the Bayern Munich, but you know what? It's a little bit too late. When you actually leave the faith in your hands, or faith that the other team like Copenhagen, congratulations, they won their draw and went through, that you're banking that they have to draw and you have to perform a win, and at the end of the day you came up with nothing. This has been nothing but a shocking campaign and chaotic. As a fan, I feel for it because I want him to be successful. But I love my club, but I hate this team currently. And I cannot say anything else that this is a pure stubbornness that week in and week out you're trying to, how do I say, it's the definition of insanity to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. I mean, I don't really understand why. And if anyone else can sort of give me an indication here in the chat room, why is he picking the same team? Why is he picking Scott McTominay? Why is he playing Bruno? Why is he trying to, what is he trying to do? We are not Manchester City. We're not there yet. I was watching Terry yesterday, and I want to bring that to the stage, basically what Terry was saying.
But Man United didn't have the ability, nor the tactics and system, or the minerals, the three things that are so important to beat this Bayern Munich team tonight. And that is it. No Champions League football. In fact, no European football whatsoever.
And that is good for us, according to me. I agree with you, Terry. There's the minerals, no structure. no cohesion, no football intelligence, but still perseverance. And I certainly believe that Ten Hag, it's arguable to say it's really hard to turn things around. We have three-quarter of a season left to play, and what do we do from here? But let's continue what Terry has to say, because I really think that he spoke a lot of facts in his rant yesterday.
And it's another disastrous night for Ten Hag. You could argue a 1-0 win wasn't as bad as people expected.
No, of course, if you browse around the socials, and pundits were saying we're going to get killed and battered. So at least I think Ten Hag set up not to face humiliation or battering, and same tactics will probably be applied on over the weekend when we go to Amfield and face Liverpool.
It to be. However, it's the first time ever that Manchester United Football Club have lost 4 of their group stage.
4 of a group stage, first time ever in the club's history. That is a calamity as a legacy fan for me, so I agree.
Games. Ever. Never happened before.
Never.
And to be leading in 3 of them and to not come out winners is an abomination.
It is. Just look back at Galatasaray, we should have won that one. Copenhagen, we should have won that one. And to leave it to the final stage and then change your formation to play more compact defensively, it's a little bit too late. So one must ask the question, what's going on in Erik Ten Hag's head at the moment? I don't know.
15 goals is also the most amount of goals conceded by an English side in the Champions League group stages ever.
Ever. We leak goals like an open house. Imagine you selling your house and you have an open viewing. Just come in, have some scones and teas, and by the way, on the way out, grab the cat and dog on the way out as well.
So this wasn't just a poor Champions League campaign. It was an unforgivable Champions League campaign.
I totally agree there. Unforgivable. And that comes to the point what I was saying. You grafted so hard, the whole team, the manager, to get to the Champions League stages. You made the Glazers happy by making them money. But when you get there, what did you do? What did you do to even deserve to be there? And even if we qualified through yesterday by some sheer miracles, we did not have the personnel or the tactics or the system to keep going. We would look like we embarrassed ourselves on the stage in Europe, and the world was watching.
I've seen Man United before go out of the group stage but get 10 or 11 points.
Yeah, me too.
To go out with 4 points with this squad up against Galatasaray and Copenhagen, conceding the way we did, is beyond infuriating. Now, I understand that in a number of those games, the mistakes from Andre Onana played a huge part.
Yes, certainly did. I'm not here to point any fingers, but what was the point of actually recruiting in Andre Onana? What was the point of recruiting in a Mason Mount? What was the point of recruiting anyone at this stage? Was a little bit of a premature. Maybe you should have kept De Gea for another season. But clearly, to me, he's trying to implement a style of play that doesn't suit the current players. Onana was recruited in as a ball distributor. If you're playing in a system of 4-1-5, then you're basically counting on Onana to be that ball player, that extra centre-back. We haven't seen much of that. We've seen an unsured Onana, not really knowing his place, the nervousness, the pressure to play under the red shirt, under the theatre of dreams. Fans, they are very unforgivable, and fans will boo what we heard so many times. To say that Onana cost us the goals and to qualify arguably can be the case, because Onana did have some howlers in. I agree with what you're saying there, Terry. Let's continue.
But over the course of this season, Manchester United have been far too easy to play against. Manchester
True.
United have been far too simplistic to run through and break
Absolutely
down. We have
true.
had a soft centre, an invisible centre, the acres and acres of space for our opponents to play in, run through.
But that is according to my opinion, what I said before. We used to play a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 But now Ten Hag seems to want to play like a more of a pressing. He expects 5 players on top to press, and you have a one sitting midfielder like in Sofian Amrabat or Kobe Mainoo to do the rest. And that leaves the big famous donut hole. Scott McTominay does not track back. Bruno does not track back. The wingers do not track back. Marcus Rashford do not track back. The players look, they're not happy in the system. We've seen the down tooling of Marcus Rashford, for instance, to keep Scott McTominay on just because he scores goals. Leaves you nothing in the midfield. And that is, according to my opinion, we've been left wide open in that midfield and conceding far too much goals. And also, why have you not played Rafael Varane? Now, Rafael Varane came in yesterday, was, wow, didn't really realize how much we missed him, but Royce Varane to play Harry Maguire, that's been in form, Johnny Evans, and to bring in Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, that has an injury record of 27 injuries and so far with Manchester United. That's a problem.
Passing or dribbling through our lines has been like a hot knife through butter.
True that.
It has been overly simplistic. And tonight, when I was watching the game, and the anger levels in me are not like after a normal defeat, because 1, we weren't smashed. 2, this is what I expected. And 3, this is why I stand by what I said today on Straight Facts. I don't want Erik Ten Hag to be our manager.
Well, everyone has their opinions and everyone is entitled for opinions. I've seen Ten Hag out, Ten Hag in. I'm personally Ten Hag out because I don't see us getting any better under another manager if there is no structure and support above. The Glazers has to go, and that is for me the only priority this season. Question is, what do we do from here when we have 3/4 of the season left? I want to hear what Terry has to say further.
Anymore, because there are fundamental mistakes that he makes, that irrespective of not getting his players,
Not getting his players, what does that mean? Well, playing players out of position, playing players that you believe in but will down tool on you, players that do well in training but doesn't follow your rules and principles when it's actually game time. That is a big problem, Eric.
irrespective of the Glazers being here, irrespective of players throwing him under the bus, and I do believe some have done that.
Yep, 100%.
The compact nature of our team tonight infuriated me. Not because we were compact, not because we were hard to break down, but all I could think is, why the hell haven't we done this throughout games all season, let alone
100% my thought process too. Why the hell haven't we done this throughout the season? Why do we see it right now when it matters, right? When it matters to be compact in the shape, because clear and obvious what he did was he sharpened up we were defending as a team, we was pressing well, we had a compact shape, but it didn't last, did it? Because at the end of the day, there's always that little mistake when somebody sleeps. We control the game, we have the ball possession, but we concede. Concentration.
alone the Champions League. And I don't expect us to play like that every minute of every single game.
Okay.
But I do expect there to be times, every time we took the lead in the Champions League against Copenhagen, whether it was against Galatasaray at home, Galatasaray away, that is when you go, right, next 5 minutes, let's be compact. Let's not expose our DM. Let's sit back. Let's make it hard to play between our lines. In the Premier League all season, from the opening day of the season against Wolves, right through to this weekend against Bournemouth. So easy to play through.
And this is what I argue to the point that I agree with this Terry Flewis. It's the system of down. It's the system. Players don't get the system. Manager is too naive. Manager is trying to push through. Managers don't have the personnel to do it. Manager recruited in the wrong personnel instead of recruiting in characters with ability and they can play your system. Arguably to say you recruited for the future. And is there something that assures you that you're going to be here next year? We will see.
Games, in my opinion. Now, I know we offered very little going forward today. A large part of that is to do with the injuries that we've got and the fact that there was so much pressure on this team to perform. However, against the Copenhagens, against the Galatasarays, I expect far more than we got. And you can even echo this into the Premier League as well.
100%. We are Manchester United, according to my opinion, high standards. I'm not going to lower down my standards. I'm going to keep putting pressure on this team and the manager, team, week in and week out, until otherwise, you know, fans have reached a boiling point. Fans had enough. Fans are starting to boo. I don't remember when fans was booing last time at Old Trafford, but it's been far more consistent right now.
The system is a problem.
Yes.
A massive problem.
A massive.
The best teams in the world become very compact when they lose possession and they work hard to get back into their shape. And we saw that today in moments from Man United.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, well, they know what they're doing then.
Yeah.
When they're being told to do it, when they're instructed to do it. They could do it last year when we went on a very good run from September right through until March.
Spot on. Spot on. Last season was a different system, though. We had different personnel that was playing there. Obviously, Licha was the spine there. Casemiro, Ericsson. But this time around, he's changed the system. And it's confusing certain players, as what I deluded before. Players don't want to play for this system. You know, Marcus Rashford loves himself. Marcus Rashford loves his club. Marcus Rashford doesn't love this team and doesn't love this manager and doesn't love the way the manager wants him to play. And so it's clear and obvious in certain players, they don't like the way the manager is setting up and want them to play.
But they have been instructed not to do it this year.
Why?
And that stupidity has cost us our season. We won't make the top four.
Maybe.
We won't be challenging for the Premier League.
No.
We're out of the League Cup. And we've had our most embarrassing Champions League campaign in the history of our football club. And those elements for me, when you've proven in the past you can perform. You're not a novice who's learning his game.
No, you're not. You're a professional footballer. That's motor skills, muscle memory.
You've proven in the past by coming third, by beating a number of big teams, by going deep into cup competitions, winning a cup, that you know how to manage it. And Ten Hag has completely destroyed his season. That doesn't negate certain player issues. That doesn't negate the issues with the board.
Ten Hag has completely destroyed his season. That is the definition of insanity. To do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. I agree. But why is he doing it? Why is he wrecking his own season? Could it be that he's tired of the Glazers and maybe he's doing that to speed up the process? But clearly, like, we are out of Champions League. We're not going to play in Europa. That means financial restraints that the club is not going to get to have money to spend. And maybe Glazers will speed up the process to sell. Remember, if we make top four, Glazers make money. If we don't make any top four or Europa League, no money for the Glazers.
I am not basic. I'm not going to just boil this down to one thing.
True that.
But the reason we're out of this competition, a big part, yes, will be on Onana's mistakes. But Erik Ten Hag's change to the system, what he has implemented, what he has coached, and the instructions that he has given his players has been an absolute farce.
An absolute farce. And I can agree with you, Terry. Guys, it's echoing chamber exactly what I'm thinking. Instead of me ranting along what Terry did, I want to sort of share his thoughts and agree and to disagree. But at the end of the day, I want to hear from you guys. I want to bring you to the stage. I want to hear what you have to say. Do you agree what Terry's saying? Do you agree what I'm thinking? The big question is, where do we go from here? That's a big question. Where do we go from here at the end of the day? I mean, you can agree to or disagree with what Terry's saying, but the man speaks a little bit of a fact. Sometimes I agree what he's saying. Sometimes I don't agree what he's saying. But I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from Mark as well. So big up, Mark. How you doing?
Big up, everyone. I don't know, like, I watched that same stream with Terry yesterday, Straight Facts, and Lee Gunner had him in the mud. Lee Gunner basically
he did,
debunked
yeah.
everything he said. So it's like, while I agree with some of the perspectives that he has on certain things, I think it's thinking in too small of a sample size. You know, it's like you're not thinking outside the box, you're thinking along a line. Because if we apply all those same principles to Arteta, Pep, and Klopp, they wouldn't be coaching in the Premier League today. Liverpool wouldn't have won their first title in 30 years. They wouldn't have won 2 Champions League. City would never have won a UCL in 7 seasons, let alone 3 Premier Leagues back to back. You know, Arteta would not be in second place or first right now this season.
He wouldn't. And I got some time to reflect and think, and it's easy to point fingers, but then the logical for me doesn't. It's seeing that he didn't have a plan B. His first plan A was to play with the certain players, Kobe Mano, in the preseason because he changed his system. We know that he was changing his system, but you don't have time to change the system in the middle of a Premier League season either to do drills and stuff like that. So games come thick and fast. What are you supposed to do? Okay, and then you look at the calamity with the sales takeover. You look at what's going on off the pitch. You have to deal with Jadon Sancho, Rashford, and all that stuff. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, what fans are doing, since Glaze is not talking, they're not communicating. The first in line in the fire line is the manager. They're going to shoot him down, and I get that. Yeah, you know, I'm personally down with this project. I don't want to see another rebuild. It's been rebuild after rebuild after rebuild, and I get the fans. I feel the temperature in the room. It's getting to a boiling point. Fans had enough. Fans had enough. And yet again, if you do a structural change, meaning new ownership, that's going to also take some time, right? But to get rid of a manager in the middle of a season, it doesn't really make sense. He ain't going to improve us whatsoever. That's the thing. So that's back to what you were saying. Lee Gunner were cooking him to say, look what happened to Arsenal. He said, I was Arteta out for 3 years, but now I see the light.
It's like when you have to look at it from the perspective like this, right? If the manager's tactics were so poor, why is the team able to play compact yesterday, and then why are the same players able to play open in another game? It's not the manager, because if he can get the players to play compact, and then they can play open, then don't you think it's the players? They're not controlling their emotions in a game and making the right decisions, because when we went up 3-1, let's just say against Copenhagen or Galatasaray, right? Maybe his instruction to the players was get compact and keep that lead, but the players didn't listen to him.
I did like that.
So for my opinion is what I'm saying is like, yeah, I could blame the manager for that, but if I can see the same players play open and the same players play compact, then I'm blaming the players, because in game, the manager could scream on the sidelines all he wants. The footballers on the field are who controlling the game. You know what I mean? Even if you make a substitution, there's still 9 other players on the field. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
I know what you're saying.
It's difficult. So I'm just saying the manager needs the one thing that the fans don't want to give him right now. It's time. And we could all wax lyrically about certain points of persecution from different angles. But then if we look at the facts, you can clearly see that he's been fixing problems in the midfield, in the defense, in attack, in the build-up, in the way we have patterns of play. He's been fixing those problems. It's just a matter of everything coming together as a whole. And yeah, it's taking really long. And yes, we are Manchester United, but that doesn't change the fact that sometimes a work in progress is a work in progress. And no matter how much time, like say, Mick, if you were building a house and the house was almost finished, and then your wife says to you, honey, I want a walk-in closet. Do you know what you have to do? You have to extend the work time on the house, because there has to be a walk-in closet. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
So it's like
never easy.
It's never easy, and I wish he could just get everything right with the snap of a finger. I wish he had got everything right at the end of last season. I wish last season he implemented his system then. But maybe the circumstances was he was unable to do that last season. We don't know what the discussions was between him and the board and the owners last season. But we do know that this season is when he's doing the implementation. So bear with the manager. He already gave us third and a cup, playing in 2 cup finals last season. So basically he said to us, you know what, guys, I can do this with a bad team, playing shit football and playing just to get wins. Or if you give me time, I can do it better.
I hear you, but Mario Icardi, I do apologize for doing that. We also lost, and you guys lost as well. Galatasaray. Mario Icardi is a Galatasaray fan, and Mario Icardi almost scored at the dying minutes, didn't he? So big up. Welcome to the therapy session, Mario.
Mario, Mario,
Yes.
we not having that one, Mario. I want to just show Mick this kind of comment that you have here. No, there's
Which one?
Jarvis. Ten
Where's
Hag
Jarvis?
instructions have been absolute fast. That's the other one. Mario Cardi say Galatasaray and United should be closed and a shopping center should be built in their place. I am ashamed. Copenhagen too.
Yeah. Anyway, laughable moments. I don't know what to say anymore. Like I just personally feel like we have 3/4 of a season yet, and it's gonna be either you shut shop, don't care anymore. I love my club. I just don't like the team anymore. I just don't like the system, and I don't see anything changes. I don't see Ten Hag being able to turn the system around and get players to play, other than wait for after New Year's to see when Leach is coming back, when Casemiro is back, and when he has his ordinary squad. But until now, I'm dreading Liverpool 100%. I hardly don't want to watch it because I feel we're going to get beaten. But football is a funny old game. It could be the other way around. And I think the fans feeling like, it's like the pressure cooker, right? It's about the pop. Like, the espresso is about the pop. Big up, Fatty. Haven't seen you, Bobby, for a long time. People are so quick to jump on the manager's back. You guys have done it 4 or 5 managers so far. So wait until Qatar, then rot is gone. And that's what it is. 25%, guys, it's not going to fix it. 25%. What is 25% of 100? Is what are we expecting the team to play 100% and give 100%, not 25? Me, I'm 100%. I don't care if Sir Jim Ratcliffe comes in or whoever. Just get the Glazers out. Get the Glazers out. That is my problem, right? And again, coming back then, I do understand fans, and fans have opinion. A lot of people upset. Some people want Ten Hag out. Some people want Ten Hag in. Some people don't see improvements. Some people don't see this last. But it's the same rinse, wash, repeat story. So if we get rid of Ten Hag right now before Christmas, we're going to be in a worse position, right? We're out of Europe, so that's good. We don't have to focus on Europa. We're not going to get any revenues, which means the Glaze is going to be under pressure, right? But I think it's a good sign, Mark. I think that it's a relief because now you can focus more on training to practice those drills, to get that into their heads, to start playing the way he wants. So you're only playing 1 game a week plus FA Cup.
I think it's it's a positive. Like either way, like on the flip side of every situation, it can be positive or negative. You know what I mean? And just like Brandon Chappell is saying here, systems, tactics, etc. It don't matter if the team lacks belief. And some of these players, they don't believe. You know what I mean? There are some players who do. You know what I mean? I would argue Maguire is a believer right now. I would argue Varane is a believer. I would argue
they're out.
They're
out. This is. I'm so frustrated with the season, with everything. The misfortunes, right? We finally get some momentum going, and I try to see the positives of yesterday's game, and I agree. We were compact. We fixed the problems, but it was a little bit too late, mate. Why are you playing this now at the end of Champions League? So I want to take this to Liverpool. That's what I want to do. I want us to park the bus. I don't care. Park the bus. Play Marcus Rashford on the counter-attack, whatever. Because there's one thing that they like.
I want to see that same team start.
The same
I don't want to see Marcus Rashford starting for United for the next 10 games.
I was playing the devil's advocate because
let him come on off the substitute. He could come on as a sub. He had to work his way back in the team.
I think fair is fair.
Garnacho is come and give 110%.
I think he will play Rashford. I think he will play Rashford.
I think he coming off the bench. This is my honest opinion. I think right now, in terms of performance, Garnacho on the cusp of a breakthrough, right? He learning on the job, just like Hojlund. So ever so often, they go have a little game where they don't look like they're contributing, they don't look like they're doing anything, but the experience is a learning curve for them on those games and what they could do better. And I believe that, if you just bring Marcus Rashford into a starting position, you will cancel all of that growth in Garnacho. So I think as a substitute, you could bring in Marcus Rashford. He needs himself to be worked into the team. He needs to work himself back into form. He don't denote a starting position just because he's Marcus Rashford. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, I like the idea of Marcus Rashford coming in as a substitute, bringing that energy into the game, using his pace dynamically and stuff like that. And then he have less pressure on him. to find his way. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not too worried about the Liverpool game. I was way more worried about the Liverpool game this weekend, after this results this weekend. But yesterday, losing 1-0 to Bayern, I wasn't too disappointed with the team. Like, again, I would say Bayern they came to make a statement. They started a strong 11. They came out, all the reports on the media was that we need to come here and do the business and get a big victory over Manchester United. They tried, they huffed, they puffed, and there's a mistake in defense that undid us. And, mistakes happen. But I would argue that it was two teams that was fighting each other to not let each other have the best of the performances in attack in where each other was, normally just build those attack and momentum from. It was like a tactical battle, kind of like the way people talked about Arsenal versus Man City earlier on the season, and then Man City ended up losing 1-0 at the end. You didn't hear anybody talking about Man City like they were trash. You understand what I'm saying? So if you look at that Bayern game and that Bayern Manchester United game, it's almost identical. In fact, it had more moments of attacking play in that game and more shots on target in that game compared to the Arsenal City game. So, I think the team Liverpool hasn't had an amazing defense, but one thing that Liverpool always has is an amazing attacking front line.
I can read the chat room here, and I can see that a lot of people don't call each other dumb and just be nice to each other. I can see what you're writing here, and you can all see, be respectful. I just wanted sort of no red cards, no yellow cards, no simbing. We all Manchester United fans. So anyway, please be nice to each other. Everyone is in the same boat right now. Everyone is hurting, and I'm just wondering, where do we go from here? What do we do from now?
No,
that's the big question of today.
We have lots of time for a lot of fans were calling for this from the beginning. A lot of fans were saying, maybe we should just get out of Europe and just have one game a week, maybe besides a domestic cup. And then honestly, it's as a double-edged sword, because they could say, all right, the team have a lot more time to rest, recuperate, and train, get the tactics right, get themselves ready. But then they could say they have less time to apply it practically in game to see how it work. So in a way, I think it's going to be good for the team, because our team has been struggling with over 16 injuries since the beginning, and yesterday we just had our 25th injury of the season. So there's only 25 players in the squad, so just imagine how many injuries we had to have. So it's like, for me, it will give these guys some time to recuperate, get their energy levels up, get their fitness back, and we play one game a week. It might be a little bit difficult for man management in terms of playing time this season, but I think we shall see a better.
Disagree, but anyway, big up Mick and Mark and VR Room is big up to you, Stephanie.
Big up,
Thank you so much.
What's up?
What's up? And guys, please, sorry, if you haven't, please, we're on the road for 20,000 subscribers, as you can see. And our goal is to reach 20,000 by the new year. So if you can do us a massive favor, guys, please do that, because we need that. We need a little bit of a fireworks before, the New Year's. We can celebrate. Woohoo!
Definitely.
What did you like my new effects?
Those effects are super cool, Mick. And I agree with what Peter Hood is saying here. What team could lose a back four plus reserves plus complete set of midfielders and compete? It's difficult,
Oh, okay.
And then Brendel Chappell is saying here, we should not forget there are 11 players that are trying to beat us. It's not just one team on the pitch. And these are important statements, like Mr. Talawa, Mr. and Mrs. Talawa's coming in here. I love ETH, but letting David De Gea go was the biggest mistake. He was most experienced and a winner of the league. Fergie didn't do that, not with David, not when he came to Manchester.
True. And I think the opportunity was there. I think he offered him a contract, but then the board retracted the contract.
Yeah.
And maybe offered him to play a second fiddle goalkeeper. And rightfully so. Onana was probably one season ahead of the overall plan, and so with Mason Mount, and so some dodgy signings that he did over the season, because he didn't recruit characters. We need characters on the field. We need leaders on the pitch as well. He recruited pretty much young talent. So we had a stream yesterday. We said, everyone is, blaming Todd Bowley at Chelsea for buying a new squad, but he's buying for the future. He knows it's a rebuild,
Yeah, And there's the thing, if you look at Ramo comment here, this is what I think of most United fans. Maybe we're not built for a long-term project. But what I would like to say, guys, is all of you, every single fan, and myself included, we always talk about Alex Ferguson. I think he's the greatest manager alive. And until he closes his eyes, guys, and rests in peace, I think Pep Guardiola will always be number 2 to him. You understand? But let me just remember that Alex Ferguson's first 4 years at United was finishing 9th, 13th, and 11th before he finished 6th. And then after he won the league. So it's like, you have to remember, we gave Alex Ferguson time to cook, to prepare the kitchen and get everything ready in the way he wanted it. And then he was able to serve everyone dinner. A dinner that fans loved for decades. You know what I mean?
But the question is, again, where do we go from here? Big eyes, eye test merchants, come on, talk to us.
One day at a time, one game at a time, guys. Like, I think we should just, as United fans, come together. Criticize the manager, criticize the players, do it as a fan base together. You see, all the rival fans, it's time for us, United fans, to leave them as external voices and only take in the voices of other fans like us. Because at the end of the day, we are the ones that are trying to stay united, and they just reveling in our, our disappointment and trying to bring more chaos and make fun and jokes and sometimes it's hide banter and truth could be one and the same. You know what I mean? And some people could be making a good statement but hiding an agenda behind it.
Yeah.
So you never know. But the way I just look at rival fans is that they're always against me.
Okay,
honestly.
Big up Rama for saying maybe we're not built for long-term projects. I think we should be. I mean, Rome wasn't built in one day, but you got to be patient and you got to let it flourish. This season's been unprecedented for United. We're missing players, injuries, suspensions, bad form and poor disciplines just got up off the canvas and fight back by sticking together. And we are diehard, Patriot channel like us. I never want to call them Ten Hag out. I want to give the manager a chance to build the image in he's building a Picasso painting, master painting, right? First season he came in, he slept a little bit, painting on that canvas, brushed off a little bit that didn't suit him. And this season, I see the pattern that he's trying to the actual rebuild starts this season. So for me, I don't really give a toss if we're out of Europe at the moment. But the question is, you fought so hard to get to Champions League and bottle it at the end of the day. I don't really get that mentality. That's the thing. We will probably share the link. Our players are limited. Football is lacking I can't read that.
Consensus and consciousness, and to work hard and possessing a complacent mindset because of their vagues.
Wicked.
Their wages. I think it's their wages.
Yeah, wicked.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. Jarvis, Jarvis is look at football in a way, I would say, much like me, but with a more tactical mindset. Jarvis is really good at these things. And I was like, when you look at these players right now, they don't give you that sense of, I want to win for United. You know what I mean? You could see it in some players, but not in all of them. And we need to see that.
Yeah, no, fine. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, please. We are back to like and subscribe because now I am actually bringing Mark to another stage here. I'm going to add Mark to the stage here. We are changing scenes, but before that, please do like and subscribe if you haven't. Anyway, we are using a new studio called EVMAX, and I'm so happy with this one. I want to move forward with this. Now we are in a normal dynamic scene, but you guys actually have scenes you can build. As you noticed, we can go back to the VR room here as well, which is more dynamic, and you can guys see each other. We can flip it back. We can flip it forward. It's like Jarvis's corner. Like, there's nothing wrong with your television sets, hey? So anyway, I want to invite people to come in and have their say as well. I saw Alien Teno was saying, send me the link. And I also want to do another thing, moving forward from here, knowing that we have injuries, I want to ask the question to the VR room. I want to ask the question to you as well. How do we line up from here? Are we going more pragmatic? Are we going to play the same system? Because I think the system is down. I think we should try to play with double pivot, at least. Sofian Amrabat, Kobe Mainoo, or Casemiro's coming back as well. Imagine a Casemiro and Sofian Amrabat.
Actually, I am more looking forward to Scotty McTominay going to the bench and coming on as a super sub, replacing him with Casemiro, and either Amrabat or Kobe Menu in the DM role. I think that's more the midfield that we want to see. Hey Peter, what's up,
Hey,
man?
Peter.
How you doing, Mick? Mark?
Yeah, not too
Chilling.
bad.
What's
Not too
going
bad.
How you
on?
doing, guys? Oh, I'm a bit zoomed in now.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. You got you're the Hugh Hefner of the gown
You know
gownery.
what, guys? Now after the game and that, didn't go to sleep till about 3 in the morning. I was just
About
candle on,
7 in the morning.
little drink, just scribbling things down because that's what I do. I'm a little thinker tinkerer type of guy. You know what I mean? Sometimes, like you say, you have your rants and then you let the dust settle and go, right then, okay then. So we now need a solution to get out the problem we're in. Yeah. So I've come to this conclusion, which is this. I forget about the past. What's done is done, cannot be changed. That's it. We are where we are. What can be changed is what's to come. Yeah. So if, look, like I think 99 out of 100 United fans will put their hands up and go, we're going to lose against Liverpool and Aston Villa if they play well, all things being equal. Okay, yeah. So if Ten Hag does make the Christmas period after it's finished still as a Man United manager, I will do this. I will build a team around the young players that haven't been tainted by this previous culture. You understand what I'm saying? You've got Kobe Mainu, you've got Garnacho, you've got Annabelle, you've got Palestri, you've got
Yes.
Dango, you've got a lot of young players there. If it means dropping big names, then drop them. Because playing these big names now, like Bruno and all them, will not get us top four. So if you're thinking of, after this season, the season ahead, start implementing these young players into a system, into the squad now. You've got one game a week to the end of the season now. That's more than enough time
That's
to
what I
work
was
on
saying.
tactics, bring in young blood, young enthusiasm who want to play for the manager, who want to play for Man United, because these seasoned pros aren't interested anymore. They're the reason why we are where we are, because they're not interested. Players who don't want to go, players who get upset, probably Marcus Rashford, Bruno, and all them, sit them down and go, don't worry about it. When the season ends, you're being sold. You're not part of the project anymore. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
And just start looking ahead and fixing it that way.
Okay, so
Personally,
guys,
myself.
I hear you and I really appreciate it. Sorry, I'm going to move you around there. So this leads me to the next exercise then, based on what you're saying. Okay, how would you then line up? What formation would you choose going for?
My
4-3-3?
midfield would be Amrabat, Mainu, and Annabelle.
Yeah, but what formation? What formation? Would you go?
Well, you could play through it. I would personally. I think with the players we got and the style he wants to play, Eric Ten Hag, 3-5-2 is his best option because he likes
I think so
high
too.
pressing, quick pressing, running back. Yeah, so 3-5-2. You put your 3 seasoned centre backs in the 3. Yeah, you've got Wan-Bissaka as a right wing back. You've got you could have Luke Shaw as a left wing back. Both can be pacey players. Yeah, and then you play your dynamic of your young players in that core middle up front. Yeah,
would you go back
so
5
you've got
Liverpool?
cover. Yeah, and when I say you play your 3 seasoned centre backs, I will play Varane. Obviously, he's injured now, but it'll be Maguire and Evans. You've got
Maguire
knowledge
injured too.
and experience
injured,
at the
not
back.
Varane.
Yeah,
So
let the young boys go do what they want. When you want to attack teams with, like Eric Ten Hag wants to, with quick pressing and pace, you need young, fast players to do that system. These players don't want to do it.
Would you still pick Onana, or would you give Bayern a try?
Bayern there for me. Like, I mean, I'm being honest. I like Onana, but
Time to change.
I feel for more than one, I feel he need to feel the presence of competition, in my opinion. I feel Bayern there need a little 1 or 2 games. At the end of the day, we're going to have to deal with Bayern there for the whole month of January. And I've been saying this for the season start. He should be getting at least 1 or 2 odd games every month. 1 game or 2. just to get him in the habit of playing with the players standing in front of the crowd. Because we're going to have to deal with him for 5-6 games in January when Onana goes to... Because regardless if he don't go to AFCON or not, he can't play for United. He will be banned from playing for United during AFCON if he doesn't
I don't
go.
even know how to spell his name, Bayandir. So I put Onana
B-Y.
anyway.
B-Y.
It's Bayindir.
Bayindir.
Mhm.
Eh?
Bayindir. Bayindir.
Bayern. There.
Ah, here we go.
Look at it.
Alter Bayandir.
You know,
Okay, let's give Bayandir a go. And in the back three, then, I would definitely have a Varane. I saw it yesterday. Varane was so missed.
Varane, Maguire, Evans, back three.
Seriously?
Season back
but we
three.
do have Maguire, so it could be Varane, Evans, and I would say either Dalot. I would say Dalot off the right.
Oh, well, Shaw's out, isn't he? So
3-5-2.
Yeah,
I don't know
You
whether
sure with
Lindelof
this
is
one?
back.
Are you
Yeah,
mad?
yeah.
3-5-2. You sure? So you would
Listen,
go
you
with
could
like not Lindelof, Varane, and
We'll go 4-4-2, Mick.
You could go
4-4-2.
4-4-2 as
Go
well.
4-4-2, go.
Oh God, we're going back to the classic. 4-4-2.
I mean, it's 4-4-2 anyway. Anyway, we playing right now. It's just we lining up 4-3-3. So, you know, Varane, Evans, I would say Dalot and Wan-Bissaka. Drop Dalot on the left back.
Or
I
even
like
regular,
Wan-Bissaka.
Mark.
You could put regular on, but for some reason, I find the back line has looked more stable
See how
when
guys,
you
you're
see we have
confused.
Dalot
See? Okay.
in the left
So you
back
want to
for
have
some
regular,
reason.
or do you want to have I mean, barring that, you know, okay, we're talking about every injured players coming back, and we're talking about Licha, we're talking about Casemiro, the best 11 from moving forward, right?
Oh, the best 11? Well, then it will be Licha and Varane in the center. You know,
But who's
Licha,
playing left
Varane.
back? Who's playing left back? Luke Shaw?
Nah,
When
I would
fit,
still put Dalot ahead of Luke Shaw because, in my opinion, Luke Shaw don't have the legs right now.
Okay.
We're not sure if Luke Shaw go and get our legs back because, to be honest, I haven't seen Luke Shaw bomb forward the way he normally bombs forward when he plays left back, and I think it's a lot to do with his muscle fitness on his left leg right now.
Yeah, bear in mind, Martinez is back, and we're going back to the old partnership, Varane.
Varane, Martinez, and Bissaka on the right. I think that's one of our
That is a
strongest back
cooking.
lines we could come up with right now.
And Shaw is good. You know, he's
If Shaw full 100% fit, then Shaw is undoubtedly the starting left back. You know, I think if we're thinking about a replacement for Shaw, Alvaro Fernandez making a good name for himself in Spain right now, I think as the best solution.
Your strongest midfield. Just imagine we're now competing with racing to get into top 4, right?
Casemiro, Kobe Menu. I feel like you must have a Hannibal in there, but I would still stick Bruno somewhere in that midfield.
Casemiro, I would stick with Amrabat, Casemiro, a little bit forward in front of Casemiro and Bruno.
I don't know, but I would say if we're doing our 4 midfield, I would like to see Medjbri, Bruno, Casemiro, and either Menu or Amrabat.
He ain't gonna choose that one. I don't think so.
But that would be a strong midfield because I think Bruno could still keep his main role as Roman. You could stick Menu, you could stick Medjbri in the 10.
I can see Lucky Singh is saying Martinez is fit Sunday or game after. Big up, but don't rush him back too far.
No.
Let them fellas ride until January. We could run through Christmas.
Listen, I will put this one up and watch this space. Oh, what happened? Oh, you're up, Peter.
Yeah.
You fell on your ass.
His phone fell.
He got shocked. You're right, Peter.
Yeah, fine. My phone fell off the stand, man.
4-2-2. I never seen us play.
My phone fell off its holder.
Yeah.
It's just a formation, you know what I mean? They could line up anyhow after that. So you put Amrabat, Casemiro. I say Bruno and Medjbri.
Mounts?
Huh? Mount got sniffing this team, bro. Like, we don't know Ten Hag don't like Monk, bro. You could see it.
So who would you play to the right side then?
Garnacho
I
and
mean,
Palestri. wings.
Garnacho and Palestri had to come in. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I think, or you Garnacho, Anthony, because Anthony hasn't done too bad this season. You know what I mean? Like, for the last couple games he played, he's one of the best players in the team so
Absolutely, he was
far
really good.
in
He
terms
was
of
very good.
consistent performances.
He was very good, to be
So
honest.
Anthony or Palestri, it don't matter for me because the two of them is the future.
So who's in top front then here? Bruno and of course it's got to be Bruno and Hojlund.
Bruno and Hojlund. I
Hojlund to the
mean,
left.
I'd still like to stick Matchbury in that team somehow. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. That's why I don't mind playing a back three with you know.
So
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. My five across Mark, the midfield would have been, if it was 3-5-2, would have been Amrabat, Mainu, Hannibal in the centre, and Palestri and Garnacho on the wings. This is what I was saying about playing untainted players and getting the system going.
I get
mean,
it.
Forget about the big names now. They've proved
I
that they can't do
understand what you're
this.
saying there, but you wanna know something, Teno? If when you look at when them players play with Bruno yesterday, look at Matchbury came on and was playing with Bruno yesterday, right?
Yeah.
If you notice the link up with Bruno and the younger players, it
Yeah.
does look almost like if he accustomed playing with them compared to when he playing with McTominay and when he playing with
Yeah.
Rashford. It's so easy for Bruno to link up with. So for me, when I look at it like from that perspective, I say to myself like, if we get rid of a lot of the big names and we keep one or two, I would keep Bruno because him in the center with the young players is a different Bruno than we seeing right now because a lot of those young players have the ability to move, pass and move, and they have the intelligence to
Okay.
make the runs and the energy. So
So
it might suit him.
so what would this look like with another formation? We have 4-2-2. Let's change the formation then. Yeah, we can do diamond as well. That doesn't work. That doesn't work.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
you just
Go
had to swap
and
Bruno and
go
and Garnacho.
4-1-3-2.
Oh, for now, this is totally messing it up. No. 4-4-2, right?
You
What
could
did
play
you
it
say?
at a 4-3-3 or 4-1-2, or you could play 4-2-1,
Okay, 4-3-3.
4-3-2, 4-3, 4-2. Yeah.
Bruno up here. Amrabat, Casemiro. This is more like it. This is what I would like to see, though. Dalot bombing forward. Martin is covering here. Varane, Van Bissaka a little bit more forward. And him shielding there in the middle, right? This is my
Yeah.
strongest, right?
You know, I think from watching from how they're using the team so far, if we put it into this perspective, Scott McTominay is Casemiro's substitute. Amrabat to swap with Kobe. You know,
Nah.
and the only thing right now is honestly for me, I would like to see Matchbury, not Matchbury, but mostly I would like to see Palestri or probably Ahmad
Yeah.
swapping with Bruno
But we play
Somewhere
what we
there
got
in
here.
there.
in 10.
Okay, I just want to wrap this up, guys. So otherwise, we can have an eternity of discussion because this is an endless discussion. I actually gone in and still put in Onana in there because he's our number one goalkeeper, and I think he will become good. But in terms of formation wise, I kind of like to see this one. I like to protect on.
You know what, Mick? I would put Palestri where Anthony is. For the simple fact is, I think Palestri is a more cultured player than Anthony.
But I don't think he will. I think Palestri will become off the bench. But just to summarize, like I think this would be the best starting 11. I mean, the midfield will be compact, 100%. The wingers will be playing wide. We've seen Anthony has been hugging that touchline. Alejandro Garnacho as well. Diego Dalot will bomb forward. Van Bissaka is getting better and better, and then you have that solid, Amrabat, picking up the ball, and just Rafael Varane, Martinez. We know the quality of them, so that's my,
I mean,
Mick,
if that team got beat, there's no excuses, is there? Really?
no, I could ask a question, no, Mick.
I
Just for sake of how the midfield balances, you could just drop Kobe Mainu in there.
Yeah, but my reason per se, and this is reality. I know what you want. I know you're emotional, but I'm thinking to protect those players a little bit as well. Don't burn them out the first season. The youngsters, they will gain game time, but this is the regulars, like the seniors, mixing a little bit with the juniors, of course.
Yeah.
And I can
Yeah,
see
but
I can see Amrabat and Kobe Mainoo rotating, like coming
yeah.
off the bench and stuff like that. And there'll be games where Kobe Mainoo is playing instead of Amrabat or Casemiro. But that triangle will be amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Diego Dalot being rotated with the what's his name, Regulon, Reggie.
I'd personally, I'd sell Delo. I don't think he's good enough. But
Mm.
like I said, you can only work with what you got at the moment, can't you? That's it. We
we
can
need
all say
better.
we want this player, that player, but the thing is, this is the hand we've got. You have to go with the hand you got.
Mm-mm.
But you can definitely tweak certain players out that squad without a shadow of a doubt.
Nick Nash is saying Bayander, Dalot, Varane, Shaw, Regulon, Mainoo, Casemiro, Martial, Donny, Ahmad, and Hojlund. Oh my God, Nicky Nash. I don't know. You like Martial? Everyone is entitled for their opinions, 100%. What are you saying here, Brendan Chappell? Bruno needs to the team in front of him instead of mostly in his back. Let Bruno be the conductor. Yeah, I mean
100%.
Bruno
You
is
see that team there? There's no room for Ericsson or Mount.
no.
No room whatsoever.
Ericsson could play the 10 role. You know what I mean? Like, understand, perspectively, if you look at the team in contrast, right? In terms of how it look, like if you swap out Ericsson for Bruno, the drop off is when it comes in defense, but in terms of offense, it will be equally as creative or probably even more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same with Kobe dropping out for Amrabat. If Kobe come in, he might make a few more break line passes, but in terms, he don't have the experience of Amrabat to know when to
No,
step up and
he
step
doesn't
down
know.
But
in
I'm
certain
curious
occasions.
because even Jarl is saying play 3-5-2, and if you play 3-5-2, that means that you're actually flooding that midfield, and games are won and lost in the midfield. But I was impressed by the compact shape against Bayern. I want to see them taking that shape into Anfield, defend as a team, but press as a team and hit them on the counter. That's what I want to see.
The problem we've got, Mark, is this. We still haven't worked out how to feed our strikers.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
We need someone to feed Hojlund. And for me, that number 10 role, Bruno's not the guy for that role. We need a playmaker.
Because we play off the wing, I don't think is up to Bruno. I think it's the wingers who is really the responsibility falling on to feed Hojlund. Because if you look at the patterns of play, our main attacking outlet is either we go to our winger on the left or we go to our winger on the right. So these are one of those two guys have to find that psychedelic connection with Hojlund and know his moves, know when he go and break left or break right, drop the ball deep, drop the ball short, bring it into feet. Like it's hard to say it like that, but it's just if you look at the build up of the team, Bruno is there for like all-round creation, but the aim of the team is to get the ball to one of the attacking wingers and they do the creation from a side. So I just think it's down to mostly the front three finding that sense of chemistry with like they know Hojlund go and turn on this man and run there, to put the ball in that location. So it's like for me, it's just a matter of time. That would take a little while.
This is why, Mark, I said I'd play Pellistri instead of Anthony because for me, I think everyone would agree now. Pellistri is a better passer of a ball than Anthony. And echoing what you just said there, you need the wingers to feed the striker. Yeah, Anthony rarely finds Hojlund with a pass. He's not finding him whatsoever.
I don't speak for Pellistri because I think Pellistri this season has shown that he has a better link up with him. For sure, 100%.
Yeah, guys. Listen, I'm gonna read some comments before we continue, guys. So sorry about that. Listen, you all loved and care. Tony Bond is saying now is the time to put the deadwood and leaks in the reserves and use the younger ones. Brendan, I believe it will take years to change the culture. Let's not forget the culture is in the entire club, from the academy, cleaning staff, and all the way up to the top. 100% big up Jarvis as well. And the next comment is coming from Stephanie Griffith. Big up. Fans wanted De Gea upgraded and Weghorst also heavily criticized for the lack of goals. But both helped the team ethically massively. Thank you so much for your donation. Keep liking and big the thumbs up, like this. like and subscribe, guys. There's only one way up. There's only one way. Just either mental health is far more important for me. My family is far more important for me. This is just a game at the end of the day. You know, you love your team. You're a match going. You're going for every match, Peter, as well. Like, you know, you're spending expensive money. You want the value for the money. What you want to pay and see. And I get that. But I'm just concerned because we're three quarters of a season left to play, and you know that's the purpose of this one. Like, you know, I call it system of a down, and that means the players are down tooling. The system is not working, so that's why we had this exercise. What would you do? Like, you know, how would you line up?
Yeah.
Who is the best player that fits his system, right? Because we know he wants to press, he wants to defend of the team, but at the same time, we're not feeding the striker. We're not feeding Hojlund at all.
We're not. No. We've got to play more dynamic, Mick. And Mick Mark, it's the usual suspects again. They can't do the job what they're getting paid to do. This is why I say integrate as many youngsters into the team now till the end of the season. Because, like I said, they're not tainted by previous seasons or managers. And all they know is they want to play for Man United. And if you're going to lose your job, go down, at least go in. The fans will go, well, look, he's tried to change it. He's playing the youngsters. He's got, he's mixing them with seasoned pros. If they're not good enough, they're not good enough. What else can he do? That's it. But if you keep playing the same players, the only outcome is you're going to get sacked. That's the outcome. They're not going to change for you.
I think we're in for a treat for the rest of the season, guys.
One game a week, Mark.
It started off really dark and gloomy, but I think it will grow into it. And I think this will take off some of the pressure off of him. Now that UCL out of the way and it's just FA Cup and the league, maybe you might see more Dan Gold Jr., you might see more of Kobe Menu, you might see more of Hannibal Medjugorje. I remember some of these guys were going through their first professional contract negotiations, that is stop them from being able to play for the club sometimes during negotiations due to the minutes and the arrangements of the discussion. So, guys, keep it positive. It's not that bad, but it could get better.
Before we close the shop, Nicky Nash is coming in here to say big up. Do you see another 7-0 defeat at Amfield? No.
No, if we play like we play against Bayern, I see we might lose 1-1, we might lose 1-0, maybe 3-2. Because
Peter,
let's just be realistic. If the strikers had a good day yesterday, we scored 2 or 3 goals. If not, then we don't score. So it's one of those things where the team was compact, they played good. It was one defensive mistake that killed us. If we play that well against Liverpool, who knows what could happen? We might lose.
Yeah, we grind them out a bit.
It depends. I see us getting smashed. Liverpool just opened the top tier of the new stand. They'll have 57,000 fans there. First time in 50 years. They're playing the mortal enemy, Man United, and they'll go top of the league. This is not going to pan out good for us.
You know what? The last time United opened, last time we had something like that, Liverpool hit us 7-0. I remember that. There's some fact about that last season. Maybe we might do it to them on the day they open that.
Well, you never know, do you? That's the beauty of football. You never know. If we knew the score before the ball was kicked, there'd be no point in playing the game, would there?
Oh, that's true. True that. Anyway, 100%. The point of this exercise today was to weather out the storm. Everyone is depressed. Everyone feel anger. Everyone wants to blame somebody. If you watch this back, reflect a little bit. Think a little bit fresh. I thought about it, and I call it system of a down. And how can we then play towards his system if he doesn't want to change? And I agree with you, Peter, and Mark didn't agree with me that playing once a week is probably the best for the team right now because we can practice more, we can integrate players more, and there's no excuse for having fatigue if you're just playing once a week.
Yeah.
There's no excuse.
Exactly.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Big up Jarvis Cocker. Big up Nicky Nash in the house.
Mick Mark.
Cheers,
big
Jarvis.
Up Lucky Singh and Peter. Everyone. And that's about it for today. We're not going to do any more streams. We're going to have a little bit of a breathing space, and we'll be back for tomorrow. And God brace us all if we're going to do the Liverpool preview. That ain't going to be nice because I can see Peter already we're going to get smashed 10-0. But what if? Wait a minute.
You never know.
What if?
Hey,
What if
I
you?
just
What if?
somehow feel like people say we was
Listen,
going
the
to
guy in the
5-1
middle here.
to
The guy
Bayern,
in the middle is the
4-0
most
again.
delusional. Wait a minute. The guy in the middle here, the guy there, this Caribbean guy, is the most positive guy I ever met. This
Yeah.
guy, yeah, he still believes we can turn around on Liverpool, come to Amfield, and flip it around to 0-7.
You never know.
I'm not
You
saying
never
no
know, do you
7,
know?
but you never know, Mick. Like, we might go
No.
there. The guys might be up for it. The attack might just be giving everything in their favor. Hojlund might just suddenly find his shooting boots in the Premier League.
Hey,
Yeah.
Bang, score a hat trick. It might be a 2-1 United, a 3-2 United win. You never know what could happen. So I would say to fans, don't be too despondent. This team, they haven't found the consistency yet. But the one thing is every other game week, it is come back and make a victory. Especially when we don't expect them to win. They come and bring a performance where they don't concede goals or they concede 1 goal and they score 2 goals. So yeah, let Liverpool fans enjoy talking about last year's 7-Up Cup. We won them 3-1 at home, the first game of the season anyway. So when they beat a team one way and they beat you the next way, it's not like it's not that bad. At the end of the day, same 3 points.
Mark, it's time to close the shop, my friend. But you got a big supporter in Yoli Malmin to say we are smashing Liverpool with 11-1. Oh my God, where did you come from, Yol? Yoli is the most.
Nick Nash.
Yeah. Anyway, Nick Nash. What are you saying before? The biggest blessing in disguise we will get is no more Europa this season. It's time to work hard and practice drills. And I believe that Ten Hag is going to the hardware store and he's buying new drill bits, guys. So be prepared. Cheers all. You're already waving here. What are you doing here? Is that you, Alien? Hello. Oh yeah, it's you. Goodbye. Okay. Angie just came in. Hey Angie, we haven't seen you for a long time. How you doing? I'm still Ten Hag in. The team needs to kick up the ass. And that's it.
Yes,
what I'm
Angie.
saying.
Yes, Angie. I agree
I am
with
tired
you.
of this team. I don't love this team, but I love this club. And I was back to manager, but not this team because they don't deserve my love, and they don't deserve Peter's money either. So goes for the to watch the games.
Go for me.
Yes, he fell down. Like did you miss? Just rewind. Oh, that was your camera, right? So, anyway, guys, beautiful people, it is time to pack up the show, and it's time to just do something different. Like take your mind off the football. If this is depressing you, go for a walk. Take the dog out for a walk. If you don't have a dog, take the neighbor's dog out for a walk or whatever. Just do something different. Mark,
or rob the neighbours if you're near Liverpool.
Or you can watch the women's team because the United women's team has been on fire in their
Yeah,
last
they
4
have,
games.
Yep,
They scored 4 in their last game. Before that, they scored 3. Before that, 5. So if you want some good vibes, watch the United women's team. It's gonna bring that good feel factor back.
Okay, dude. What do you do? What do you do if United lose? What do you do? Like in terms to forget about things. Let's start with you, Peter.
What do we do when United lose? Go on a rant.
Go on a rant.
Get me aggression out straight away. Get it out of me, and then I usually record all the games and watch them through again. And stop, start. What could we have done better? And that's it. Just basically, just go through a little bit of length of time. Going,
you go through the motions,
yeah. Dissect it. Just dissect it. What's gone wrong?
Yeah.
And I've done a lot of dissecting this season.
Oh yeah, you do. We do. And what about you, Mark?
Me?
What do you do? Just forget about it. You look like a go-happy-lucky guy, like yo, man.
I mean, okay, like sometimes it's be bad. So like I'll talk about it. I'll call up one of my friends. One of my partners here who's a Manchester fan, or my partner who's a Bayern fan. And I'll tell them, United was, what you thought we did, because they are a rival fan. They have a different opinion. You know what I mean? And I'll talk to them about it. Sometimes I'll call Jarvis and I'll be like, Jarvis, what do you think we could have do better here? Was this a good game for you or whatever? Other times I might have to roll up a fat doobie, but
Yeah. No, I was reading the Bayern fans paper or something, and they were not happy with the Bayern's performance yesterday either. They were very critical, right? They don't.
Yeah.
They have standards. They have standards.
They have standards, and the Bayern fans, the ultras, were said this morning as this. They said their statements are, if
Yeah.
that's what you call making a statement, that statement was like wasn't. We didn't receive the memo, basically.
Bayern aren't the team of old. I've watched a few games because
It's
they've been
so
on YouTube. Because Harry Kane's there. They won't win the Champions League, Bayern. I'll tell you that now. They're not good enough.
And so are we, Peter. We're not the old Manchester
No.
United, and we're not good enough either. But we are trying to. We will try the best we can. As a fans, we have a moral obligation. Either you stand by this team, or you walk away, or there's no point of being negative. The only thing that you can do is hurt yourself at the process. So,
And
if
you know what,
don't like-
Mick? I'd swap Musiala with Bruno and a heartbeat.
yeah, you would do, and that's your rightful opinion. But you
That
guys are lucky.
Musiala's a dynamite player.
You can step away. I can't
Yeah,
because
it's dynamite.
channel. I cannot take a break from this, so I cannot divorce this team as of yet, guys. So I'm here to the end of season. Big up for everyone that's coming in. Big up, thank you, Peter, for calling in. It's time to close the shop. Remember what Angie's saying. Remember to smash that like button, peeps. Subscribe the channel. Support always welcome. Thank you, Angie. We are on a road for 20,000, so please help us. God or Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're our only hope. What they say in Star Wars. Peter, you look like so Jabba the Hutt or something like that. Or Hugh Hefner.
You will win on Sunday.
All right. Trust the Force, people, but don't trust the process.
Force.
Cheers, guys. Take it easy. Bye for now. That's all, folks.